the whole Black Lives Matter. I mean, and again, I don't want to. When your central characters, like all your characters, are black, that does make sense. I don't know. At points, the story really dragged, and I really thought. I don't know if they really needed 13 episodes to go off and to do the story that they were trying to do. But I mean, it was good. I liked the finale, even though I feel like the finale was kind of drawn out too much. There definitely there are elements to. Obviously, they're leading to the Defenders miniseries. So next time we see Luke Cage, he's probably going to get introduced to Daredevil, and probably some of the other characters are going to come in. And it was amazes me because I haven't even finished watching Luke Cage, and they went off and they were starting doing Iron Fist teasers on Netflix. So
it's definitely a comic book world, and I don't know. Like I think Netflix isn't exactly the best network to showcase all this, but I guess in their case, if it works, it works.
Well, okay, so they've got Iron Fist, which is coming out in March. They're they're starting to film, or they're in the middle of filming the first season of The Punisher. Which I mean was never originally planned, but the character became so popular after season 2 of Daredevil that they couldn't deny the fans. And
it would be a lot better to see him in his own series than what happened in Daredevil.
It'll be interesting though, because I mean, I'm not sure the big problem with the Punisher was that there's only so much you can really go off and you can do with this character. Have him go out and just mass murder people on every episode.
Okay,
get a little bit much. I mean, as a supporting character,
I'm sorry to say that this guy going off and mass murdering a whole bunch of people every single episode is too much. I really disagree with that. As a Walking Dead fan, I am loving these shows where there's lots of like a huge death toll and and suspense and all these different things, like a lot of action. That's what makes a show. Not just because of superheroes or things like that. It makes it, but it's the action that keeps people going.
Okay, dude, you're going off and interrupting me, and
absolutely, I will always
all the time, man.
I will always interrupt you.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll go in and with an open mind and try to watch the show. I don't know. To me, it really feels like that. This whole lead up to the Defenders has kind of been hit or miss. I think season 1 of Daredevil was better than season 2. Although I did really appreciate Elektra on there. Jessica Jones, I thought was good, but not as good.
Could be better.
Luke Cage, I mean, it was definitely hit or miss. It felt like they tried to do too much, when they went off and went from having one, main villain to another main villain, halfway through the series. And it just felt like, if you haven't seen it, first several episodes, you're Cottonmouth, and then he gets, knocked off, and then next, we got Diamond, back, being brought in with little or no explanation as to why, and then they kind of tried to force feed us on, the storyline as to why he hates Luke Cage so much.
See, what I really want to see with Luke Cage is eventually him becoming Power Man.
Well, and the interesting thing is that he is referred on on at least 3 or 4 times during the series as Power Man. He was, first called that by Pops in the opening episode, and it gets brought up a couple times.
So it's kind of hinting at the possibility of him
I think
going to spandex.
I think no, because there's actually one episode where he escapes from prison, and he's got like the gauntlets on. He's got like the headgear. He's got the stupid looking yellow shirt and pants, and goes off and looks at himself and pretty much calls himself a moron because it looks so terrible. But I mean, I definitely think that they could be leading to the hero for hire aspect of him. So next time we see Luke Cage in a solo series, maybe that's what he'll do, because that's what they did in the comics. Yeah, as a hero for hire.
It definitely would be an interesting scenario and storyline. I have Power Man comics, and until I actually got them, I didn't realize that Luke Cage actually was Power Man. I always thought they were two separate people. So I find that really interesting. With characters when they have multiple names and multiple personalities, that they go by.
Did you know that the original movie that Quentin Tarantino wanted to follow up Reservoir Dogs was Luke Cage? He wanted to actually do a movie based off of the very first comic, which he actually went up and he said it was the comic equivalent of a black exploitation film. And that was the thing that he was kind of really interested in going to do. Ultimately, that fell through, and probably just as well.
Probably.
I mean, I think Quentin Tarantino is an absolute genius, but there are definitely times where I think he might be just a little too warped.
Well, considering a lot of the directors and producers that I follow, you can't be too warped. It's what creates fan base.
Yeah, this is true.
But I feel like we've
been shooting the shit, this episode. Maybe that's what we actually should have called this episode.
Hey, I like mine, King Gobble.
King Gobble, all hail King Gobble.
Yep, Canadian Thanksgiving, King Gobble.
We
are the first Thanksgiving of the year between our countries, so we are the king. Yeah, hey.
That's one of the few times that Canada got first over the United States.
Hey, at least we don't use a holiday to promote some sort of parade, getting people to drink and all that. We use holidays as a way of family and football.
And football, yeah. And can't forget football.
And baseball. Like, I don't know, it was a big weekend for
Go Blue Jays.
Yeah, go Blue Jays. I can't even remember who they're playing anymore, but apparently
they beat Texas.
Yeah, and then somebody beat Chicago.
I think they're taking on Boston.
No,
I don't know.
Boston Red Sox lost, so whoever was playing Boston.
I don't follow baseball.
I just know the Blue Jays are in the final, and they're going to win it all.
They're in the American League Finals.
It can't. It's the same thing.
Anyway.
So,
I don't know.
Shameless plugs time.
Shameless plugs. So, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. And you know what? You might as well follow us on social media. So, starting off, you can follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow me at RealCaptFizz. So, at RealCaptainFizz.
You can follow this local fellow at That Mask Guy. Follow the show at FizzMash Show. And, better yet, go to, our website, www.fizzmashshow.com. And you'll find links to our Twitter accounts as well as to our wonderful Facebook page where you can see pictures of Captain Fizz in drag.
Or just go to Facebook itself and type in FizzMask Man.
Something like that.
And you'll find us there.
And absolutely.
We've got 50 followers now.
We do. If you...
And none of them are us.
Well, I think two of them might be us. But I mean... and you...
Sorry, I'm reading what William had to come back to what I was talking about, the Thanksgiving parade and all that down in the States. He says, we eat too much, drink too much, and fight over football as a family, and get paraded to jail as a family. So, hey, at least they do it as a family.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, so you know what, guys, when you're on our Facebook page, let me know what you think of the Star Wars fan theories that I post. I actually go on YouTube every Sunday morning and go off and just try to find ones I think are actually kind of good. Big hand to Captain Fizz, who started doing a Wednesday comic book selection every Wednesday.
I got a really good one that I'll be doing for tomorrow. Very patriotic.
So I think there might be a certain
superhero.
captain. Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely going to be Patriotic Captain Day. So I'm going to let you guys guess what it is. But tomorrow night I will be posting Comic Book Wednesday. So yeah,
So I mean, there's a lot of good. I mean, come on, guys. If you're not following us on Facebook, there might just be something wrong with you.
Yes, there definitely is. So.
Anyways, so thanks once again for listening. Thanks for, just, putting up with our shenanigans. Because, you know what? We know you love our shenanigans.
Absolutely.
And so, in the meantime, and in between time, good night, God bless, and may the force be with you.
And as always, stay frosty, my people. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.